So is the Kracken an absolute deal? Maybe the best deal in the history of deals, or is it a total fucking scam? Welcome back to the Muzzle Broke channel, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in, and today we're talking about the Swampfox Kracken optic. So the Swampfox Kracken is essentially a budget take on the Aimpoint Acro. For those of you who don't know, the Aimpoint Acro is a closed emitter red dot that really has proven itself in the industry. It's rugged, reliable, effective, works incredibly well. I love me an Aimpoint Acro. The only thing I don't love about them is the price. Aimpoint Acros are going to run north of $500 or $600 depending on where you get them. Now, to their credit, for that price, you're getting an amazing optic. But when I saw the Swampfox Kracken kind of come out onto the scene, I figured I could get a closed emitter red dot that looks pretty darn close to that Aimpoint Acro and be able to use it effectively and have $300 to spare because, as compared to the Aimpoint Acro, the Swampfox Kracken is only $300, literally half the cost. I haven't had this optic too long, but when I first got it, I was really excited. I put it on my handgun, I took it to the range a couple times, it worked well, it's got shake wake, it's got a bunch of different settings, it's waterproof, it's that closed emitter so no dirt or grime is going to get into it, or so I fucking thought. It actually has some night vision settings to it as well. I was thrilled. Actually, one of the first videos I posted on the channel was kind of me giving a glowing review to the Swampfox Kracken, and unfortunately today, I'm kind of here to take that back. And there are a couple of different reasons for that. So let's start shitting on the Kracken. One of the first things that I kind of noticed about the Kracken is just going to be its issue with co-witnessing. So on this custom Glock 17 here, I am running Trijicon suppressor height night sights, and even with these super high sights, you're not really able to get any sort of co-witness with the dot. As you tip that front sight down, you can see the dot, and as we are trying to line up our irons, that goes away. And you really can't even use the irons at all. And that's kind of due to the base plate mounting system that the optic has to run with. So the Swampfox Kracken comes with kind of a proprietary plate system. They do give you a plate for both the MOS and Trijicon RMR footprint, which I do appreciate. I mean, if I'm going to buy an optic, send me the damn plates. Buying those $50 plates is truly going to be the death of me. But because of that proprietary plate mounting system, you're not going to be able to get co-witnessing irons, and that's kind of a bummer. So that was the first thing that kind of started to irritate me a little bit, but hey, you know, whatever. You live and learn. Fuck the irons. I'll run the dot. Who cares? Okay, so that's when I actually started to notice some pretty severe issues with this dot. Before I get into that, here's kind of my disclaimer. I really love my guns and I treat them as my precious children. I am a single cat lady, but I'm a boy and my guns are my kitties. So I'm really not super rough on these guns. I'm not sponsored. I don't get anything for free, so I'm not doing any torture tests and ruining my shit. I do 100% feel that guns are tools and should be used appropriately, and hey, if my life depended on it, I'm gonna use this as I need to, and I don't really care if it gets broken. I say all this to preface my bitch session because I did not do anything super crazy to this optic. I took it to the range, I shot the gun, I drew from holster, I did some reloads, nothing crazy. And even with my gentle hands on this optic, it kind of started to deteriorate. Most notably in the front of the optic, you could see these three little like specks of grime and dirt. And it's kind of hard to see, but when you're looking through the optic, you can actually see one of those flecks in the viewing window. So you can see we have a fleck here, some flecks down low at the base of the optic as well. So the first time I noticed those, I was like, you know, it's just like a little bit of gunpowder or fingerprint or some bullshit. So I took my Windex, got my little Q-tip, cleaned it to the best of my ability, and you know, what the hell, all those pieces are still there. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this is a closed emitter red dot. It's supposed to be waterproof. This whole system should be closed. So how are things like falling apart and flaking inside the optic? And at the end of the day, that comes down to the quality of this optic. If it was just a cosmetic issue, I really wouldn't care. I don't mind when things get dinged up, dented, scratched, what the hell ever, right? But in this optic window, when you're looking down range, you can see those flecks. You can see those little pieces. And although it's not the end of the world, it does cloud your field of vision. And it's not like this optic was like a $50 Amazon optic. I mean, this optic still costs $300, which again is cheaper than the Aimpoint Acro, but still a little bit of a cost to it. You know, here on the Muzzle Bro channel, we really try and cut costs when they are able to be cut. And I definitely think there's some areas in the firearm space where you don't need to go with the most expensive option, but you also absolutely get burned when products like this come out. They look like they're a quality product, they're cheaper than the name brand or best in the business, so you go with them. And then sometimes, come to find out, they're absolute pieces of shit. I haven't reached out to Swampfox to bitch and moan about this yet, and quite frankly, I don't know if it's worth my time. In my opinion, they had their chance with me, and they kind of sold me on a cheaper optic that kind of ended up being shit quality. So it's kind of sad for me to say, because I was really excited about this optic, but I'm absolutely not impressed with the Swampfox Kracken, and to be quite frank, I don't really think you should get one. For that $300 price point, there's plenty of other Holosun, SIG, or any other number of optics that you can get that actually are going to be reliable and function flawlessly. So before you think about buying the Swampfox Kracken, think twice. Invest the $600 if you want a closed emitter, buy the Aimpoint Acro. That's hard for me to say because that's an expensive optic, but hey, buy once, cry once, don't buy this cheap thing. Alrighty boys, I really appreciate you tuning into the channel. I am not sponsored by anyone. I buy all of this crap myself, and that's why I'm able to give you these incredibly honest reviews, unlike a lot of other YouTubers that get all all this crap for free. So I would really appreciate a subscribe to help grow the channel a little bit. It truly means a lot to me, and I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you learned something worthwhile.